Hey guys, Tyler here. So, in case you don't remember, or maybe not have heard it, episode 285, we recorded that and it went super long, so I decided to split it up into two different episodes. So, if you haven't listened to that one yet, I recommend you guys check that one out as we talk about what we've been playing and more about IGN with Philip. If not, and you guys are back for the second part, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode. But moving on to some positive news,
Okay.
Gables. So we got a decent amount of Switch news this week.
Okay.
Kind of comes in bursts. You know, we're like we might go a few weeks on these Switch news or Nintendo news, and then it seems like we have a whole podcast with the Nintendo news. And this week, nothing like super crazy, but some cool stuff. So the same people that leaked everything from everything about Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battles late 2016 or 2017 are now reporting that Super Mario Bros. U is rumored to come to the Switch. It's a port of the Wii U game, Luigi U, which was a DLC pack for like $20 that came out a little while later, is also said to be in one pack together with this. It is going to be called New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, and it could release as early as this year. So Gables,
Yeah.
I own this game on the Wii U, and I'm admittedly not the biggest 2D Mario fan in the world, but are you excited for playing this game again, or would you buy this again when it comes out if this actually does happen?
You know what? I would, to be perfectly honest, and it's for one perspective here, and that's because I could play it on the go. I mean, for God's sakes, New Super Mario Bros. U, even though it was like a launch title for the Wii U, even at the extent of when it came out, the whole New Super Mario Bros. Thing was kind of getting a little bit tired out, worn out. After playing through Mario Odyssey and playing through like subsequent Mario games since then, I'm more willing to actually play this game through again. So I would be excited for it.
Oh, okay, cool. Like I said, I played it for a little bit. I think I got to like World 2 or 3, and I kind of just fell off of it. The 4-player stuff, I do not like. That game is infuriating. I remember playing the Wii version with like Justin and his brother, and I think like his girlfriend years ago, and it was like the most infuriating thing in the world. And not like anybody was being like malicious towards anybody else. It's just like I don't know how many times we died bumping into each other, or one person would take like all the mushrooms, and then like so everybody. So yeah, it was just
toss somebody in the pits.
yeah. Oh god, it was infuriating. There was kind of fun with the gamepad where you can like put the little platforms down. That's kind of fun and like fuck with people. But yeah, I don't know. I think it makes sense to do it. Like with 2D Mario games are always more popular than 3D Mario games. Like in Mario Odyssey has already sold like 12 million copies. It's the highest selling Switch game right now.
Yes.
So I would bet this. I don't know if it's not going to outsell it, but I think it'd be one of the more popular games you could put on there from the Wii U left. I would rather have 3D World because I love that game, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have too much to say on it. I think it's cool. I don't know how crazy of a rumor this is. I think most people probably knew this was going to come eventually. We've talked about this before on the podcast, where I think we've mentioned it in passing when talking about ports from Wii U, that having this together with the Luigi game would make sense.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll get it. I probably will because I'm an idiot. But the coming up this year, I don't see. That's the one thing I'm like.
This year's already packed as it is.
Yeah, with a couple games we're going to talk about here soon. And then you still have Mario Party in October, Pokemon in November, Smash in December. It would make more sense to this game to come out in like early 2019. Because you got Yoshi coming out then.
True.
Fire Emblem and Yoshi are coming out in the first like 3 months of 2019. Maybe you could sneak it in there somewhere, or have like it be like a May release kind of thing, like early 2000, first half or something like that. I think that makes more sense to me. But then again, I can see them like they snuck some games in holiday season with like Fire Emblem Warriors, things like that.
Right.
and I think was Bayonetta. No, Bayonetta was really this year. Never mind.
Yes.
So that makes actually I could see that like a January release. That'd be great. Kind of filling some gaps there. But yeah, I don't know. That's cool. I'm glad that people maybe that didn't play it or want to play it again. I'm happy that's for them. That's coming out. But moving on to some more Switch news. We have Mega Evolutions are coming to Pokemon Let's Go.
Right.
So they've announced a few more new ones. I think like Gyarados is gonna have a Mega Evolution. I think Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard. We already knew about those ones. They've already had them in the past games, but there's been some rumors about Gen 1 Pokemon that didn't have it in the first, and Pokemon X and Y are going to have it in this game. I think it's kind of cool because as somebody that delved back into Pokemon with Pokemon X and Y for the first time in like over a decade, I thought that was kind of a cool feature. And Pokemon's pretty popular about like they bring in like a feature in a game in the generation and they get rid of it, like they don't bring it back ever. And bringing this back is interesting. And like I said, I liked it quite a bit in the first one. So I'm surprised it's coming back, and I think it's kind of a cool little feature. Of all the things that they can bring back, I think from some of the later generations, this is one of the ones I'm most excited about. What about you, Gables?
Yeah, it is sort of interesting that they would delve into the route of going back to Gen 6 for a feature and stuff with the whole Mega Evolution stuff. I mean, honestly, I'm not too sure how it's going to fit in or even like where it's going to be exactly used, but at the same time and stuff, it's interesting that it's in there just for the sake of like people to go through, play through the game originally, and then just experience something new for the first time. You know, the people who don't readily play Pokemon games as much or like probably just getting into it, just sort of like a gateway or something like that, so they can experience, oh, hey, here's some of the creatures I used to play in my youth. You know, oh, there's Charmander, there's Bulbasaur, there's Venus, there's like Squirtle and stuff like that. But I think, in essence, I'm not sure if... I don't know why, but when I saw the reveal trailer or something from it, it kind of looked like there was some sort of online battle scenery or something behind that unveiling and stuff, and it kind of makes me wonder if there's actually going to be online battling with this game.
There is. Yeah, they've already announced that there is
Really?
going to be online battling. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. I hope they have like the mystery trade stuff. That was probably one of the most fun things about Pokemon X and Y. Whereas you, me, and Jake, after we recorded one night, spending 2 hours on Skype, just doing mystery trades and talking about what we got.
And then hearing consequentially both of you guys get angry because I kept getting good Pokemon.
Yeah, you kept getting cool shit. We're getting like level 1 fucking like
Pidgeys,
Rattatas. Yeah, bullshit. You're getting all this cool shit. I think the coolest thing I got was like a Chikorita, but it was Japanese, so I couldn't. I'm like, I don't know if it's a fucking thing. Not that I have a problem with Japanese. I'm a stickler for like I don't like nicknaming my Pokemon. I like to have their names.
Well,
That's just who
Tyler,
I am.
you can actually get around that. You could have just went through because you could have just paired it off with like maybe a Ditto or something like that, and you would have bred into a new one that you could not have a nickname on.
All right, well, 2 rebuttals to that. 1, that sounds like a lot of work, and 2, I'm an idiot. So you know these things. And no one explained that to me, so this is your fault. So, yeah, I blame you for something that happened 5 years ago, retroactively. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's cool. Because this wasn't in Gen 7, was it? Mega Evolutions?
It was in Gen 7 to an extent. It wasn't the focus because a lot of the focuses were upon the whole Z Crystal stuff. You know, the whole powerful crystal stuff you can equip onto specific Pokemon and like different types. Mega Evolutions were there, but they weren't readily the focus. They were basically after game content that you could delve into if you wanted to. Inside the competitive scene, there were people that did use Mega Evolution stuff, but in terms of like buffs and like nerfs and stuff, they were rebalanced for some creatures, especially for like Pokemon like say like Kangaskhan, where in Gen 6, Mega Kangaskhan had the Mega Evolution, and it had some called Parental Bond, which if you paired it off with a move like Power Up Punch, you could use that move and then increase its power and stuff like that with kind of like a substantial like boost and stuff like that. So basically, you could get like a like a Swords Dance like effect or something with it. But anyway, that's delving a little bit too deep. But the main purpose is it was Mega Evolution stuff was there, but not really as big.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I liked it. Like I said, I liked it as a casual fan of Pokemon games in this day and age. So I'm happy to see it back, and it's something I actually understand. I hope they just don't make it to the bullshit thing where like you have your Pokemon has to hold the item to make an evolution, because that sucked. Because I liked it when my Pokemon held like valuable items, more valuable items. But moving on, sticking with Nintendo with the Switch, Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch officially. They had like a weird teaser like months ago where it was like I think someone like with a candle and a Switch or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
It was basically sort of like some like I think it was a photo of like Diablo or something like that on a light switch, and then like the switch was turned on.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, and it was like that's what it was exactly. Thank you. But I remember we talked about it at the time, but that was like I want to say like February when that happened, and we heard nothing since then. But it's officially announced. They had a really cool trailer about it, a video about it on YouTube. Nintendo did, and Bethesda, with like Reggie and one of the main guys from Bethesda, talking about it. But so basically, like I said, Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch later this year. No release date yet as of yet. So one of the big things out of it is I think it's called like the Diablo 3 Eternal Collection. And in this game, you get all the expansions, Reaper of Souls expansion, the Necromancer pack. It's called the Eternal Collection. There's 7 classes, 5 acts, seasons worth of demon smashing. It's all quotes from the article itself. And then as a kind of a bonus for the game, if you get it, there's stuff from the Zelda where you can have a Kuko chicken thing, Kuko, whatever, the chickens. You can have as a companion pet. There's a Triforce portrait frame, an exclusive transmogrification set that'll let heroes sport Ganondorf's iconic armor, and you'll also receive unique cosmetic wings. I don't know what half that shit is, but that's kind of a cool little thing that actually made me interested in it because Ganondorf's one of my favorite Nintendo characters.
Oh my gosh.
Gables.
Yes.
This game, has been out for a long time.
Yes.
But
2013 exactly.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was longer than that. Okay, but 5 years. So, are you excited? Are you think you're gonna buy this? Like, and are you? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're excited, I guess if you're gonna buy it, you're excited for it. But where are you at on this?
To be perfectly honest, I'm really surprised, and I'm actually very happy that Diablo 3 is making its way onto the Switch. What I'm wanting to know exactly is, in terms of, say, Blizzard account stuff, if I can actually log into the Blizzard account stuff while on my Switch. That would be very interesting, as a lot of that stuff could actually be... Oh, wow. Well, you know what? Because the reason why I say that is because if this game does well, I really want a game like Hearthstone that come out on Switch, because that game is very fun as well, and it's definitely perfect for the portable stuff. But as far as Diablo 3, it's like I've had moderate interest to play this game for a while now. I've played a little bit that was on the PS3, played a little bit of like the trial stuff on PC and stuff, but that was like the beginning part of this year, because that was pretty much when I started to get little inklings of, oh, maybe I should try playing WoW. But in terms of like the quality and all the other stuff, and everything else is included, like the Reaper of Souls expansion, plus the whole like Necromancer character that they came out with like recently, I want to say the past couple months, if not by the beginning of this year. It's definitely a win-win right here. I'm just kind of wondering how the game is going to be running quality-wise. I'm wondering if I can actually log into my Blizzard account by doing this stuff. And also, I'm just interested in seeing the overall success of how this game sells portably. Because, believe it or not, this game in and of itself, this is the first time that Diablo, in my honest opinion, has been portable like this. And I've had a couple of talks with coworkers and stuff, and we were just talking back and forth about it. I just brought up the things like, what would happen if, like, say, a game like WoW ever did that, you know? And it's like that. One of my coworkers just joked, "It's like, oh man, I would be having like 5 Switches. I would have one in my parents' house and this and that." I'm like, God. But yeah, I'm very excited because it's like Blizzard has not been on a Nintendo system since the Nintendo 64.
Was
It's
that
been that long.
StarCraft?
It was StarCraft 64, and it was a good version of StarCraft that people to this day still love the way that game was handled. And honestly, a lot of us, including myself, I don't understand how they were able to go through and convert StarCraft from the PC onto the 64 with the control style of the N64 controller. That's just crazy, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think about this, Tyler?
I think it's obviously a positive, and they said that StarCraft is not not in the play for the Switch, but Overwatch is. This is definitely, I wouldn't be surprised if Overwatch is still maybe in the early stages of being ported to the Switch.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but I think this is definitely like the I guess the trial run for if they're going to continue on this partnership with Blizzard. And I don't think Activision's actually released anything outside of the Crash Bandicoot games.
Dude, here's the thing in regards to, say, Overwatch on Switch, in my opinion. Fortnite has done very well on Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Paladins has been doing well on Switch. A lot of because they're free-to-play games. A game like Overwatch on Switch, like connecting online, playing stuff, and potentially like having like on-the-go sort of things, possibly. I mean, that is awesome to think about because of how good that quality of the game is. But go ahead.
Yeah, it could definitely work on there to a certain extent. I think it helps Paladins and Fortnite. Fortnite's obviously the biggest thing in gaming today. Paladins, more recent release game. Overwatch is a few years old. Almost. It's like 2.5 years old.
Yes.
And probably by the time it comes out to Switch, it'd be over 3 years old. So yeah, I think it could definitely work on there. Like I was saying, it's probably a trial run for it to continue this partnership. And like Crash Bandicoot's probably, I think, the way. Is Spyro the Dragon is also coming to the Switch, and I believe that's Activision. So there's showing support here on the Activision side. Blizzard is in Activision, the same company, but Blizzard's kind of its own thing. So I think it's a deal. I'm not gonna say it's a huge deal. Diablo 3 being a 5-year-old game. I think it's gonna sell really well.
Yes.
As like people support the Switch to a crazy extent, where you see games that sell more on the Switch than they do on everything else combined by a large number. What was the Little Nightmares, which was it was a pretty good game. It was like, I don't know, like it's one of those like you would see a lot of like 7 to maybe 8 out of 10s on like online for reviews. And on the Switch, I think it sold over 1 million copies alone on there.
My God, it was ate up like crazy on the Switch.
Yeah, and it came out over a year after it came out on everything else, and it sold more on the Switch and everything else.
The power of portability, man.
Yeah, people love the Switch and they want to support it, so I think this is it's gonna sell well, just like Doom did and Wolfenstein did and things like that. So, like I said, I think this is great for the future of it. I don't think this is like I said, it's a potentially a huge deal. Right now, it's a deal. I guess. I don't know.
Dude, it is a huge deal that Blizzard is actually supporting Nintendo in terms of their systems.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it is. I mean, the more partnerships they can get is a big deal.
Yep.
I'm curious to see if EA gets into because they're like the one company that hasn't gone.
I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, because I don't remember. I don't think FIFA 19 is happening, but they're not doing it. Like they already, like 2K pulled WWE 2K off the system, which is probably a good thing for everybody. Cause it was as bad on the PS4 and Xbox One.
It was ambitious to begin with and stuff with their whole engine and them not wanting to adjust to certain things, 2K. But I can't really understand like they can do what they can with the NBA 2K games, which honestly on the version that was released on Switch was actually pretty decent, and then go through from that to like the WWE thing and just fuck it up so much. That is bad.
Well, the WWE 2K games are always broken and buggy as is on the main
Yeah.
consoles, and then you get it like they put it on the Switch is just you're asking for trouble. So that's not too surprising to find that out. It's probably a good thing for everybody that they didn't do that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's great to see that they're getting great third party support. It's like the biggest thing they needed. I think down the line, like getting Doom Eternal day and date, I think is the biggest thing third party wise to add to the Switch yet for the console itself. So if they start seeing more stuff like that, where we're seeing things come out day and date
Yep.
or closer to launch, like with the rest of the stuff, that's when I think it'll be a huge ordeal.
Oh, it's going to be
But
interesting to see how, for Doom Eternal and stuff, how that's going to actually pan out. What version is going to sell the most?
yeah, that's true. That's a good point to think about it like that. But Panic Button's making it, and they did the Doom and Wolfenstein ports. So to see this not be really a port itself, but actually its own game, will be cool. But moving on to the last Nintendo topic, Dark Souls Remastered came out in May on PC, Xbox, and PS4. It got delayed really late, not too long before the game came out for those consoles. It's supposed to come out this summer, and I actually just mentioned it last week. I'm like, it's getting towards the end of the summer, and we haven't heard shit about that game. What's going on with it? Well, it got a release date finally. It is coming out October 13th.
Wow.
So yeah, I know it's like it's had its own development team working on it. It's got its own like they're doing their own port for it, so it's different from the rest. But are you? I don't know. I mean, you're not the. I know you like Bloodborne. You're not the biggest Dark Souls guy. But are you interested in this game? And do you think this game can still be successful with the 5 months delay?
I think the game still can be successful because if you have a bunch of, say, like Dark Souls fans and stuff on Nintendo systems and stuff, they may just want to buy it just because of the novelty of like having that game on the go and stuff. And in essence of that, I am interested in seeing how well like the original Dark Souls does. As like from my perspective though, you're right though. I have not been really the biggest like Dark Souls or Bloodborne sort of guy. I've multiply tried to play these games and like just have ended up just like putting them down, not because they're too difficult, but because in those type of games I want to know what I'm doing. And if I mess up or something like that, I will literally put down a game for months and probably never play it again, or probably not come back to it until like about a year or two later. But for this game and stuff, I am kind of interested in wanting to play it, only because, well, it's the first Dark Souls. I had some success in playing that on the PS3 when I did have one. But honestly, I'm just sort of like just waiting and seeing at this point. I may get it if it's like say on sale.
Okay. Obviously, I'm not a Dark Souls guy. I'm glad to see it's coming out to start. You know, obviously, like much like Diablo, it's a deal. It's coming out, and like I was talking with Doom Eternal, like being day and date. That's huge for the Switch. I thought this would have been huge for the Switch. Sorry, I hit my mic. But to come out day and date with the other consoles. Getting that delay, still, only 4 months later when we're getting, like, Diablo's a 5-year-old game, and we're getting other games that have been out for, like, Wolfenstein came out, like, 8 months after it came out on PS4 and Xbox. So getting it, it's still only 4 or 5 months later. Still a pretty good deal.
Yep.
Getting, some support. But yeah, I think it's still going to sell super well. Like we were talking about with, like, Diablo and stuff. People support the hell out of the Switch. To a crazy extent, so I don't think it's gonna. I think it's definitely hurt the how the game was gonna do on there, but I still think it's gonna sell well, especially with the amiibo, which I'm actually pre-ordered and buying already, which I don't know why, but I am. So that's the thing that's happening. So yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I'm happy it's happening. Finally, a release date, a lot later than I thought. I think everybody anticipated, especially when they said summer 2018, and it's actually. Fall 2018, almost winter. But moving on, Spyro Remastered. So still kind of a Switch thing, but it's more all around. So it's supposed to come out September 21st, because it was gonna be that month mark the 20th anniversary of Spyro, the first Spyro coming out.
Yep.
Has been delayed to November 13th. And I know you are more of a Spyro guy than I am, whatever. Um, were you interested in the first place, and where you at on this delay?
I was somewhat interested in stuff like that, but I think that this is very interesting in seeing why this game was delayed to begin with. I mean, obviously there wasn't really, like, say, a lot of big name games possibly in September. We know Spider-Man, we know, like, maybe like a couple other games though, but going all the way to October, going all the way to November and stuff. God, there must have been some sort of like hitches or something that they came across inside development or something in order to do that, or it could just be, or something like that. They just wanted to move away as quickly as possible from like Battlefield and like Call of Duty. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it's kind of disappointing that it's moved back moved back a few months and stuff. But at the same time, it is what it is. I'm indifferent to it.
It's always it's never a bad thing for a game to get delayed. Usually, unless it's like in development hell, then that's obviously a bad thing. But we're looking at September. It is pretty a packed month actually already. You got like Spider-Man, Tomb Raider. What else was good? There's a couple other games coming out.
Yeah.
But you already got two big games right there. They're coming out right before it, so they're gonna kind of cover up. And this is a remake, and these are two brand new games. October, you got Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed, Red Dead Redemption.
October is packed this year.
Yeah, so October is pretty packed. September is got some good shit in there. November is kind of a wasteland, really. You got Pokemon.
That's really unusual for November to be actually kind of a wasteland.
Yeah, well, I think it's just because everybody wants to come out before, Red Dead. Where you look at Battlefield comes out the week before Red Dead, comes out 2 weeks before Red Dead. I think it's like the week after that is Call of Duty. So I think it's just everybody. Red Dead has really blown up the calendar for everybody this year.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it, and it sucks they're not going to hit that date that they want to hit. But I think in the long run, it's probably a good thing. That game, that Spyro the Dragon, the remastered, like I'm sure a lot of people are excited for it. That's a game that's probably would be better off. Like Crash came out in like June last year, and I think that was a perfect release window for it. Coming out there wasn't, obviously in June there's not a lot of stuff going on, so it kind of took over and was one of the biggest games of the summer last year, sales wise. Also from for a lot of people personally love that, love going back to those games. So coming out in the fall when it's already packed for that kind of game is tough already. But then when you got shit everywhere, it's probably best. I'm not saying that's the reason, but it's probably not the worst thing that happened to it. Where November is a lot lighter of a month for it. It's got a couple weeks after everything, all the big stuff comes out, so it'll be maybe a little died down by then, and it get its own publicity. They always start trying to fight with everything else. So yeah, moving on to our last topic. I'm gonna kind of fly through this one quickly, but the June NPDs. Finally, we're getting to those. They came out late. Usually, they always come out in like the somewhere around the 20th or so of the month. Of this past month, I don't know why it was delayed until like I think the last day of July or the first day of August. But that week we were recorded two podcasts right before that, so we couldn't talk about 2 weeks ago. And last week we had so much news we couldn't get to it. So this week we're finally getting to it. So these are the top 20 selling games of June. I'm going to start from 20 and work our way up. So 20, State of Decay 2, 19, Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, 18, Vampire, whatever. Number 17, Assassin's Creed Origin, 16, MLB 18 The Show, 15, Call of Duty World War II, 14, NBA 2K18, 13, Rainbow Six Siege, 12, Breath of the Wild, 11, Super Mario Odyssey, 10, Detroit Become Human, 9, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, speaking of already, 8, FIFA 18, 7, Luigi, what? I don't know if I was going with that one. 7, Lego Incredibles, 6, Mario Kart 8, 5, Far Cry 5, 4, The Crew 2, 3, GTA 5, God of War 2018, number 2, And number 1, Mario Tennis Aces. So yeah, a pretty all over the map kind of a month. So kind of looking at it, I'm kind of shocked by some of these. State of Decay 2 game that came out late May, dropped on the 20th. After the month of May, it was number 1 selling game. Like I said, it came out like the 21st or 22nd of the month. Vampire game that came out in June, early June, all the way at 18. Kind of sucks to see. What was the other game? Oh, Detroit Become Human, game that came out like the 25th of May, I want to say, at number 10. Kind of a bummer to see it that far down. But to see Mario Tennis Aces at number 1, came out like mid-June, I want to say, mid to late June. We were talking earlier about people support the hell out of the Switch. This is a first-party exclusive, and I think it's sold like 1.5 million copies worldwide. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool to see that. It's not a game I necessarily love that much. It's much like ARMS was. Like I said, that was my biggest concern going into it last year. Like ARMS was really cool for a weekend and a few days after that, maybe. And that was the same case with Mario Tennis, where I got it on Friday, and by Sunday I was kind of done with it. So I don't know, Gables. Where are you at with this month, or the month of June?
Oh, well, what's kind of interesting to note, it's like, well, yeah, Mario Tennis Aces being number 1 and stuff, I wasn't really expecting, like, to be front and center in the NPD stuff. It's kind of sad not seeing, like, Breath of the Wild, though, on the actual list itself,
It was number 12.
Oh, it was number 12? Nah, I wasn't paying attention to that, I guess. But, oh, man, it's getting late anyway. But, anyway, I'm surprised seeing, like, how low State of Decay 2 is after, like, the month previous where it was, like, what, number 1 selling and stuff, and it's dropped all the way to the last little bit in the NPDs. So, yeah, that exclusive came and went too quickly. But, oh, man, it's just, like, kind of interesting, like, just seeing little bits of, like, the same games there again and again and stuff. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still there. Breath of the Wild is still there and stuff. GTA 5, The Anomaly, is still there, and at number 3 because the new content for their online stuff keeps coming out. But yeah, it's just very interesting just to see like a sports game, a Mario themed sports game, actually taking the number 1 spot in an NPD stuff.
Yeah. Is this it's crazy to see? It's funny. Like we see a lot of some of the bigger games of last fall slowly falling out, or like they're in like the mid-teens. Like Assassin's Creed Origins, Call of Duty World War II, NBA 2K18, being 14, 16, and 17 respectively, and FIFA 18 still in the top 10. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to see some of the games in that. Crew 2 came out that month as well in June at number 4. God of War holding on number 2 still. It's a fun fact, GTA 5 was the highest selling game on the PSN store in the month of July. Wow. So that game's still going to probably be really high in July again. I'm really curious to see where that game is going to be once RDR2 comes out. Like they're probably going to have like 2 games in the top 10 every month for like the next like 10 years still somehow. We're going to be playing GTA 5. It'll be in the top 10 NPDs in like July 2025 somehow, because they're going to port it over to that too. Another cool, crazy month. I'm really interested to see in July, because I don't think there was anything big that came out in July. So I think I'm curious where that's going to be at. But I think we went really long this week, guys. Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Might split this up a little bit. But yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Like I said, we had a lot of shit to talk about this week. But if you want to hear more from us, we have a Facebook page and group, Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Check us out on there. Like and join us on there. On Twitter at Drunk Nerds Pod. Follow us on there. On iTunes at Drunk Dash Nerds Podcast. Subscribe to us on there. Leave us a 5-star review with a comment, please. On YouTube, Drunk Nerds Podcast. Subscribe and like our videos, please. Leave us a comment on there as well. And then last but not least, check us out on twitch.tv/Drunk Nerds Podcast. No dash. On there. Follow us on there, please. Really appreciate if you did that. And once again, I was your host, I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So until next week, everyone, I hope you have yourself a nice week. Hope you have yourself a fun time doing whatever it is that you're doing. Playing some games, watching some movies. I don't know, just shooting the shit. But most importantly of all, have yourself a nice night and enjoy a fun-filled episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
And then Gables?
Yeah.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Bye, guys.
See ya.